Hi there, I'm Tiffany from Daisy Farm Crafts, and today's tutorial is going to be a quick demonstration on how to get started on your chevron blanket here that is front loop only. Let me go like that. And of course, I'm using the opposite colors than what the pattern is saying. I've got a darker, a gold color with the white stripes instead of white with pink stripes, but the pattern is exactly the same. And I just wanted to have a swatch to show you. So let's get started. All right, so for today's pattern, for the official pattern, you'll need to go to our website, daisyfarmcrafts.com, and the link is in the descriptions if you are seeing this on YouTube, but if you're already on our site, then obviously you have got the pattern. We are using Caron Simply Soft, and you can choose any color that you want to use, and I am using a size I hook. This happens to be a Susan Bates Comfort Grip hook, and it is a 9/5.5 millimeter hook. So what you're going to want to do to get started is do 61 chains, work 61 chains, and then I'll meet you back and we will get started. The pattern repeat for our chevron blankets is 29 plus 3. So you can make a chevron blanket any width that you would prefer to make it just by simply multiplying the number 29 by any number and then adding 3. So for today, I multiplied 29 times 2 and then added 3. And what you'll do to start the chevron is you start in the second chain from the hook. Insert your hook. We are going to work single crochet 2 together across the first 2 chains. Now, a chevron pattern is really pretty. The stitches are beginner friendly, but the pattern itself, I would say, is advanced beginner. So be aware of that. Okay, I'm going to work single crochets now in the next 13 chains. I like to say that even though, to kind of give you a little bit of a warning about the difficulty of this pattern, just because I don't want you to get too frustrated if you are an absolute beginner. A chevron involves a lot of counting in order to keep the peaks and the valleys straight, and you want to be really comfortable with what each stitch looks like. So here I am going up the side with 13 single crochets. Let me see what number I'm at. I don't count the first one. That's our single crochet 2 together. So not counting that one, I'll start in the next one to count my 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now in this next stitch, I will work 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now I will work 13 down to the valley, 13 single crochets. Now what's going to be a little bit different about this version of chevron is that we, on the next row, are going to be working into the front loops only. And I'll show you again on the swatch what the effect is for doing the front loops. And I really like that. Okay, so I've gotten a few. I'm not going to count these 1, 2, 3 as part of my 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now what you're going to do is simply skip 2 chains right here. That's kind of at the bottom, it's the valley. and then work 13 single crochets in the next 13 chain spaces, and you'll do those, you guessed it, the 3 single crochets into 1 at the very top. So sometimes it just helps me to keep the counting straight if I can identify the 13 single crochets that go up and down the side of the peak, and then recognize that there is the single crochet 2 togethers at the end of the blanket, and then there's 3 single crochets for the peaks. Helps a lot with the counting. So here we go. Got to count those 13 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now into the next one, I will work 3. That forms the peak. Now hopefully I will have, well, with 15 to get back down. I'm going to work the next 13 and then single crochet 2 together. And if I've done my counting right, this should turn out. I would suggest actually when you do go to make your, you know, your chevron to any width that you would like, our baby blanket size starts with 177 chains. But you want to, I would suggest multiplying that number by an even number. I'm going to get even peaks. Here we go. Now let's double check that I got my counting correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yes. And now you should have 2 chains at the end, and those are going to be single crochet 2 together. Pull through, chain 1, turn your work, and let me show you what your work should look like. We kind of have this little up and down going, just like that. So we've got our single crochet 2 togethers at the end, 13 up to the peaks, 3 around the peak, skip 2 at the bottom. All right, now sometimes people get a little bit confused about where to start the first single crochet 2 togethers, same thing. But now what I was saying on this pattern, we're going to work just under the front loop of the stitch that is facing you. So here is what, you know, you have your V's. We're going to just go up and under that front loop. Pull up. Looks like my yarn split on me a little bit. Let me try that again. There we go. Pull up. Pull up. We've got our 2 together. Now I will work 13, and that should take me right to the peak where I will work the 3 single crochets into the middle of the single crochets that we did, you know, of the row below, of the 3 that we worked into the peak from the row below. And it just works out. I love this pattern. Boy, it took me a lot of brain power though to figure out. I guess I wanted to, I just wanted my peaks a little bit steeper, and every classic chevron pattern I could find had only 7 stitches up the side. But it took me a while to figure out what the pattern repeat would be in order to get steeper peaks. Okay, so I just did 13, and I'm right here into the middle one. And there you go. Now on the pattern, I believe you'll do, gosh, I don't want to say, I don't have it in front of me, but probably 6 rows of just the solid color. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to do the stripes. The striping You will have some ends to weave in, but you would just do one row of the color and then change color. So I can just show you that on the swatch. So I'm just working 13 down the side, and then when I get to the bottom, I'm going to skip over 2 stitches, just like we did on the chain. But I am going to double check, because sometimes there's my 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right. Sometimes it's hard to tell which exact 2 are the bottom to skip over. So I do like to count these first couple rows. So there's my 2 to skip, and I'll go in there. Work back up the side, and then end with the 2 single crochets together. So I will keep working, and when I get back to the row, I will add in a color. All right, I'm at the very end of my row, and I've got 2 stitches left, just like on the initial starting chain, and I'm going to work my single crochet 2 together, but this time, instead of pulling through, all you do is simply lay your new color over the hook, pull through, and start again on the next row. Here we are. I'll show you again how to single crochet 2 together, the very first 2 stitches, and now I'll work the single crochets up to the peak. All right, I think you've got this. I'm going to show you the sample swatch again, and that way you can see the really pretty ridges that this just working in the front loops creates, and they look a little bit different on each side. On this side of the blanket, the little ridge is showing is the gold, and on this side, the little ridge is in white. So it gives a different effect on either side of the blanket. But I really, really love how this is going to turn out. And I do love my daughter Hannah's version too, with the white and then any color right here. Oh, it's just a stunning, stunning look. So thank you so much for coming by our little website, Daisy Farm Crafts. Thank you if you are a YouTube subscriber. We are so happy to share our baby blanket patterns. I started Daisy Farm Crafts in hopes to become a grandma. I just started making and designing blankets, and can't believe that I have all of you helping me along this journey, making these baby blankets of hope. Each pattern is just really, it's just filled with hope. So thank you so much, and you have a nice day.